Hello, I'm Peter Vaughan and today I'm at the Caravan and Motorhome Club site in the Thetford Forest with this, a Coachman. No, I haven't gone over to the dark side. This is not a caravan, it's Coachman's very first motorhome. So what have we got here? Well, this is the Coachman Travel Master, a brand new range based on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 4.5 tonne Alco chassis. This one is the 545. There are actually 3 models in the new Travel Master range. This island bed model, a single bed version and a slightly shorter French bed model. This one is 8.06 metres long and costs £108,500. For that you get everything you see here apart from the awning on the other side. That's a £1,300 option. In fact, that is the only factory option available on the Travel Master range. Everything else is standard. So let's see what you get for your money. Well, for a start, of course, you get this Mercedes Sprinter Kabe with the alloy wheels, the 170 bhp engine and the 9-speed automatic gearbox, all as standard. And this is the front-wheel drive Mercedes rather than the rear-wheel drive version, of course, because it's got that low-slung Alco chassis. But before I go any further into the details of this vehicle, I should give you a bit of a background to its development. This might be a continental-style motorhome, but it's built to suit the UK, with a lot of feedback in its development from UK motorhome and caravan dealers. And of course, you can spot straight away that the habitation door is on the UK side. It's linked to the Mercedes-Benz central locking remote control as well. But the body, in fact the whole vehicle, is built in Sweden by Kabe, a company with 65 years of experience. And that experience is very much about the Swedish winter. The company stores rainwater so that it can test the vehicles in development with rainwater rather than tap water, just in case that makes a difference. This vehicle is said to be able to take 4 tonnes of snow on the roof. Maybe that's not likely to happen in this sort of Suffolk area. The roof has a double overlap where the sidewalls and roof meet. And every Travel Master is said to be able to go from minus 21 degrees to plus 21 degrees inside in under an hour. Pretty impressive stuff, eh? But let's look at some of the details too. Details like these flush fit framed windows. Water tank filler is here, but of course the water tank is inboard. Waste tank is underneath, but it's heated and insulated. You have an external TV point here, and the production vehicles will have external shower and barbecue points as well. Here is your gas locker, one bottle stored behind the other, so you will need to get both out probably when you're doing a swap. And then we come to this very large garage across the rear. So we have a garage that's 800 millimetres wide at the floor, 1.06 metres from floor to ceiling. Useful shelves at the back for things like your mains lead and your water hose. Unfortunately, they're not quite wide enough to get your bottle of Aquachem, but that's a very small matter. They are a useful little addition. You've got your tie-down hooks, 12 volt and main sockets over on this side. Just this one light set into the ceiling, and then access here, servicing for the Audi heating. In here you've got a cupboard that's also accessible from inside the vehicle, and here are all your electrics, your LCD, your leisure battery, everything neatly together in one place. There's even a drain hole in the floor if you need to sluice the area out. And of course, this being a 4.5 tonne motorhome, there's plenty of payload. This vehicle has 850 kilos, less 30 kilos if you order the awning. So Also on the offside, you've got your mains hookup point and of course your toilet servicing hatch. But look at it, it's quite a distinctive looking vehicle, isn't it? With this very pronounced hump in the roofline over the front lounge area, and then these integrated roof rails. You certainly won't mistake it for any other motorhome when you see this new Coachman Travel Master on the road. And on the road, the other thing you'll notice about it, well, look how much wider the body is than the cab. Overall width is said to be 2.47 metres, not far short of the maximum legal width of 2.5 metres. It also makes it about 12 centimetres wider than the typical coach-built motorhome, wider even than Bailey's Autograph, which up until now has been the wide boy of the UK motorhome scene. You can see that extra width with these running boards and the cab, which I have to say make getting in and out very, very easy compared with other motorhomes. Also, you should note that there's Dometic habitation air conditioning on the roof, so this van is not just designed for the extremes of a Swedish winter, but also maybe for that Mediterranean summer too. Now, it's definitely not a Mediterranean summer here on the Norfolk-Suffolk borders, so let's go inside where it's a lot warmer. Come into the van and there's no external step required, just a couple of internal steps. And the first thing perhaps to show you is the control panel over the door, because this one really does do everything. There's no separate controls for your heating, everything is in one place. So on the home screen you've got things like your water pump, your lights, you can dim those up and down, turn off different lights, different areas of the van. Then you've got your temperature, your heating controls, gas and electric for the Aldi heating, tells you your internal and external temperatures. The next one down gives you things like your water tank levels, and you even drain down your water tanks from here as well. No fiddling about with switches outside. Water tank capacity is slightly disappointing, 87 litres for the freshwater tank, 90 litres for waste. Next one down, you've got your temperatures, what temperature you want to set for the interior, and your fan speed. Then your electrics, what you've got coming in from the solar panel, what power you're using, and you can actually adjust that so that you don't take too much. If you've got a limited supply for the mains hookup, especially when you're motorhoming abroad, then you can limit how much you're taking off there. So all very neat, all in one place, very comprehensive. And while we're in the entrance area, you should also note you've got somewhere to hang your coat, a mirror to check that you're looking gorgeous, and somewhere to stash your keys and your phone, because there's even a wireless charging port up there. And then when you move into the living area, well, the first thing you notice, I've got the heating on, and it includes underfloor heating. The Aldi system actually has pipes running through the floor. And gosh, when you're walking around on a spring day when it's not great outside, it is lovely on bare or socked feet to have that warm floor. Very, very luxurious. And you'll also notice the extra width inside. This does feel a very, very spacious motorhome. And it's not just a Kabe motorhome, it is designed for the UK with a specific UK layout. So you've got the popular side-facing settees, you've got the rather nice little coffee table that's ideal for magazines, cab seats spin round. Yes, there is a step from the cab down to the living area floor. There's no double floor in this van, but as I say, the floor is heated, as well as having these removable sections of carpet. And then in the cab area, well, I really like what they've done, because not only have you got the overcab sunroof that winds open on a cranking handle, you've got these reading lights that are adjustable, and you've got proper storage, actually storage that works. These side cupboards are genuinely useful. And then even the area at the front here has got elasticated pockets. So this is properly thought out for once, not just a couple of pretty shelves that some designer has put in there at the last minute to fill the space. And then when you go around the corner, everything falls out on your head. This is proper storage. The padded ceiling throughout this motorhome helps not just with insulation, but with acoustics too. And then the side walls are aluminium on the inside as well as on the outside, because that helps with heat distribution. But not only that, but they're covered with a breathable carpet. And then you've got these ventilation panels at the side, so heat is evenly distributed right around the vehicle. It really is a very, very comfortable place to relax, to work, whatever you're doing. These settees are very comfortable too. Everything seems to be nicely judged. I particularly liked this sofa with the wall behind me to put my feet up, but equally you can spin the cab seats around and put your feet up that way. Where's the TV, you might be thinking? Well, that's quite neat too, because it's hidden in this top locker. We haven't actually got a TV in this particular example, but if you had, the 12-volt aerial and main sockets are hidden away in the cupboard, and the bracket simply pulls down for viewing. TV aerial, by the way, is part of the standard spec too. Scatter cushions increase your comfort, and there's also the way the drop-down bed is so beautifully integrated into the ceiling. You'd hardly know it was there if it wasn't for that sort of join line, and of course that's the reason for that dome shape to the roof on the outside. Lighting too is exceptional. I like this sort of curvy strip around the over cab area, but you've got ceiling lights, you've got reading lights everywhere, some of those incorporating USBs, and of course the mood lights set into the top lockers as well, and a lot of it is dimmable too, so you really can set the mood however you like. You've got these net blinds, net curtains on the windows, and the flat blinds too. Everything has a quality feel about it. But then, of course, this is very much a UK layout too. So you've got no fixed permanent table, making the area feel smaller. When you want to dine, you just extract the table from its own bespoke locker. And fold out the table's legs. Now, dining on my own here last night was fine. I was able to sit here, the table's at a nice height. It's not too high like they often are. And yeah, it's stable, it works well. But if my wife was the other side, she wouldn't be able to reach her dinner. So if you put it in a sort of compromised position, well then you're sitting on the edge of the seat. That's not ideal either. Perhaps if you turn the table the other way, but then you sort of have to sit side saddle because the leg's in the way. So maybe the table just needs to be a slightly different shape or depth, or yeah. It's okay, but it could be better. Now with the table stowed away again, obviously for travel, then let's look at the travel aspect. Well, your cab seats are in a contrasting black leather. I don't think it's actually real leather because I've just had a sniff of it and I can't smell anything. Perhaps needs just slightly tidying up where you've got this adjustable bolster for those who are long in the leg at the front. It just doesn't fit quite as neatly as it could, but otherwise the stitching and everything looks very nice, and the integrated Coachman branding. But what about rear passengers? You've got side-facing sofas, but here the Coachman has a rather different way of doing things. First of all, let's just pull out that little panel there, and then this section of backrest, you've got really sturdy steel frame there that just pulls out. Let's get rid of the scatter cushion. Lever down here to operate. But first of all, let's just take the cushions off because it's probably easier that way. And then we release that lever and simply slide the base around, and then the cushions go back in situ. And finally, just add the headrests. Just slot into place automotive style headrests. And you have a very comfortable pair of rear travel seats. Plenty of legroom, decent seat height, and so much easier than some of the fold-away systems we've seen in other vans. And finally, before we move on from the lounge area, I just need to show you under this seat, because this is where the fresh water tank is. 87 litres, as I said, but look how they've put a steel frame around it. So if you should be unfortunate enough to be involved in an accident, the water tank won't move. Combining British style fittings in a continental style motorhome is this kitchen. So you've got a Thetford cooker with the separate grill and oven, and a mains hot plate in addition to the 3 gas rings. Worktop space might not look that generous, but then once you've added the cover for the sink, it's pretty good. And you've got 2 main sockets up here, so conveniently you can have your kettle or toaster or whatever in the corner. There's good lighting, both with these spotlights at the top and under here as well. A couple of little hooks so you can hang whatever. Probably need to reposition those away from the cooker, but they do slide along that rail. And you've got an extractor hood as well. But what I really like about this kitchen is the storage. Up top, it's all divided, so you've got different size shelves, different size areas. You've got fiddle rails to stop your cups and so on falling out. It's all very well planned, and it does feel very nice quality again too. And then down below, you've got this slide out storage for cups, tinned food, that sort of thing, packet foods, alongside a really generous cutlery and utensil drawer, another drawer under that, and then 2 waste bins or waste and recycling bins underneath there. So a very well planned space. So on the other side of the vehicle, as I say, we've got the 177 litre fridge freezer, which is about as large as you'll ever see in a European motorhome, 2-door type, and of course it's the latest version where the doors open from either side. Automatic energy selection as well, of course. This is your table locker alongside, quite convenient there, but not so convenient is the microwave. I understand, obviously, they've decided to fit one to suit the UK market, but it is very high up. I wouldn't want to be getting hot bowls of soup out at that level. But it's there. If you must have a microwave, well, they fitted one. Wherever you go in this van, you notice the feeling of space from that extra width. You can feel it in the floor area in the kitchen, which seems quite vast. And then you step through, well, there's no narrow corridor or anything when you come through into the ablutions area. The toilet door, of course, closes off the back of the van completely. And then if you want separation from the ablutions to the bedroom, it's not a door, but at least you can ensure privacy with this slide out screen. On this side, you've got a really good shower cubicle, plenty of room in there, little shelves for your shampoo and so on, good shower pressure, plenty of hot water I found this morning. And mysteriously, I heard this noise, like a pumping noise, as the water was disappearing from the shower tray. What's that, I thought? Well, actually, there's a pump sucking water out of the pipes and the shower tray into the waste tank. All because of Kabe's obsession with winterisation. You don't want water trapped or sitting in pipes where it can freeze, so it's all sucked away into the waste tank. Over on the other side, well, it's familiar stuff. You've got your swivel cassette toilet, nothing fancy, no ceramic bowl or anything, but a really nice sized space in there. Good worktop around the basin, places to hang your towels, toilet roll hook. Yeah, everything you need in that space. You've got roof vent in there and in the central aisle. So a really good, well-planned washroom, especially once you've opened the door out across the aisle. And before we move on to the bedroom area, I should just mention another little detail, because the more you look at this van, it's the details that really impress. And on the inside of the washroom door, there's an aluminium strip so that the door doesn't warp and it doesn't rattle. How about that? Now, this is one of the biggest double beds I think I've seen in a motorhome, certainly of late. It's 2.03 metres long by 1.53 metres wide. And if you prefer imperial measurements, well, that's 6'8" by 5 foot wide. So not only is it a really big bed, but it's a very, very comfortable one too. If it's hot weather, well, you've got this big skylight above, albeit just the push-up type. And if it's really hot weather, you've got Dometic's Fresh Jet air conditioning unit. You've got opening windows on either side with the same sort of patterned net curtains as in the lounge area. Plenty of lighting again too, and really nicely designed lighting with these top strips, the little downlighters, reading lights. Got rear speakers back here too. So it's a shame really that they've put this cupboard here, because, well, you can still just about sit up if you've got enough cushions, but it could be so much better with a nice padded headboard right up to the ceiling, and, well, you don't really need these, do you? Wardrobes, his and hers, of course, on either side, and not only are they hanging space, but you've got little baskets for your socks and pants as well. Lighting switches under here as well, and these little corner cubbies with USB sockets, so you can have your phone charging by your bed and stick your specs in there as well. What else? Well, you will have to go up steps to bed. There's one step as you come up into the bedroom and then two more on either side. Again, you've got good ventilation with the heat ducted around the side walls. No areas that are going to get left out. It's all very, very well thought through. The only thing I did find is when I needed to get to the loo in the night, I did find myself locking my derriere on the shower doors as I came through. There's not a lot of space around the foot of the bed. By the time you've got a duvet on here and this rather nice cover that they provide as well, well, there's not a great deal of space to get around the bed. Maybe 2 or 3 inches off the bed, and it would still be plenty big enough for most people, but you'd have just that little bit better access. However, with so much to like, I feel almost guilty to criticise it. And then, well, you've got more storage under the foot of the bed, these big drawers, and again, they're locked with a little catch. I've just noticed that in fact there are 2 steps on that side of the bed and 3 on this side, but that probably just makes it easier getting into bed on this side. But what I really wanted to show you is that at the foot of the bed on this side, you've got controls for the lighting for the bedroom. But not only that, if you've forgotten to switch the lights off in the living area at the front, there's just one master switch, flick that, and you don't have to go back to the control panel and go blah, 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 press all those switches to turn off the main living area lights. You can also station a TV back here because you've got more aerial 12 volt and 230 volt sockets down there as well. And I forgot to mention too that you've got little bedside drawers on either side for your knickknacks. So there's lots to like about the rear bedroom, but of course we've seen rear travel seats, so you need a front bedroom as well, and well, it's beautifully concealed in the ceiling. If it wasn't for this join line, you wouldn't know it was there at all. And it's operated, as we said, from the main control panel. No keys or switches, just finger on the button and down she comes. Just like everything in this van, it feels beautiful quality. Nice mattress, good headroom up here, really good headroom. Unusually, you've got a roof light directly above, so plenty of ventilation if you're away in hot summer climes. The bed itself, well, to call it a double is perhaps a little bit generous. 2 children or 1 adult, I think, because although the length is really good, 1.99 metres long, it's only 1.1 metres wide at its widest and down to 860 millimetres at the foot. But the good thing is it doesn't interfere with your kitchen, doesn't interfere with your door, and you've got these useful shelves all the way along, even a main socket and a couple of USBs. So whoever sleeps here, this is not second-class accommodation, this is first-class accommodation. But then, as you're beginning to see, this is a first-class motorhome. Now, for many buyers, a big part of the Coachman's appeal will, of course, be the Mercedes cab. It certainly gives it one-upmanship over the top-of-the-range models from the likes of Auto Trail and Swift. And it includes all the toys as standard. So you've got things like crosswind assist, attention assist. It flashes up a little warning if you get too close to vehicles in front when you're driving. But a key feature, of course, is this 10.25-inch MBUX display. Now that gives you the sat-nav, as shown here, but it also includes your radio, telephone, and even your reversing camera. Very, very smart bit of Mercedes kit. And I like these movable vents for fresh air as well. Of course, you've got digital air conditioning down here. The helm is a nice small leather steering wheel, so you don't feel like you're driving a bus. The displays are very clear and logical. Of course, being a Merc, the transmission is operated, the 9-speed automatic gearbox is operated by this stalk. There's no gear stick as such, and you start the engine with a button. What you haven't got on this particular model is the electronic handbrake or parking brake that you've seen on a lot of Mercedes models. So you've got this handbrake that is actually a normal handbrake, but it lies flat when applied so that you can still swivel the seats without actually having to release the handbrake. Right, time to go for a drive. Now, the overwhelming impression of this Travel Master is that it's very smooth and very quiet. Now, part of that, of course, is down to Mercedes-Benz. The 170 bhp engine gives you really good, decent performance. It'll cruise along motorway speeds very comfortably. But you also notice that Coachman have done their bit, or Kabe have done their bit too, because there's very little conversion noise. Everything in the habitation area feels very solid when you're on site, and that impression is backed up when you're on the road too. It doesn't clatter and rattle like some of the British-built luxury motorhomes we've tested recently. So it does feel very good on the road. Of course, the Mercedes is an advantage most will think over the Fiat. This display, for a start, is excellent. The sat-nav is very, very good. And the spec is great too, with things like the crosswind assist. It's got all the modern gizmos that you would expect with an upmarket motorhome. And continuing the theme of heating throughout, you've even got heated cab seats. What about the size? Well, it's a big motorhome at over 8 metres long and, as I said, 2.47 metres wide. That will be a limiting factor for some buyers. Depending where you want to go, it needs to be thought about and considered carefully, because this is noticeably wider than most of its British and particularly European continental rivals. So think about the width, whether that's going to be a hindrance to you, but on A roads and good main roads it's not generally an issue. And of course, you know, anywhere that an HGV or a bus can go, this can, if you're confident enough with the driving. You've got good mirrors with double lenses each side. You've got the reversing camera built into the MBUX display. So everything that you can have to make life as easy as possible. So the Coachman Travelmaster 545. Should the existing luxury motorhome brands be worried? Is this the best of European and British motorhome combined? Is it the best of Coachman's caravan know-how with Swedish engineering and heating and insulation? Yeah, this is a very, very good motorhome. I would personally do without the microwave. I'd rather have a cupboard up there because it's so high up. And I'd really like, in a vehicle of this size and weight, I'd really like bigger water tanks. But that aside, this is a lovely vehicle to use. Do think about that extra width, because it's a big vehicle on the road. But on site, this is a very, very special motorhome to live in. Yeah, very special. I hope you've enjoyed our latest motorhome review. Please don't forget to like and to subscribe to our channel. And if you want to know more about motorhomes, motorhoming, motorhome accessories and places to go in your motorhome, pick up the latest copy of MMM magazine.